when you talk of stem is a in हिंदी में बोलते हैं मूल बोलेंगे हम उसको,
जड़,
बेस, जड़ बोलेंगे। वो जड़ उसी को बोलते हैं कि from where everything you can take out, that's the जड़।
Right.
The entire plant grows from a जड़।
Right.
Like now, similarly, stem cell is a cell which is the origin of the cellular life. Remember, from your birth to your death, you've got stem cells in the body.
Okay.
The day you don't have stem cells, you die. Bone marrow, fat, dental, your peripheral blood, skin, testes, all sorts of the brain, all the sorts of stem cells. But these stem cells are little aged one. Recently you heard a story in US, they have done a swine heart transplant in the human beings.
Yes.
What is it? It's a xenograft.
Oh.
They tried. The man survived for 1 month. They lost. So there are many characteristics happening. And that also why swine was selected. Because swine DNA and human DNA is 90% matching, 80 to 90% matching. There are certain DNAs same as human being. Same as human being. Do you know when the life was created?
Some say 5,000 years back.
No, it is on million years.
Million years back.
150 million years before or 200 million years before. What the first life came on the earth was the yeast-like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You heard now about yeast-like.
Yeah.
Now, yeast has the same DNA gene. Same gene. I repeat my sentence for the people and you. The same gene which we have got.
Alright, this is a brand new episode of Wassup Aabir. I'm Aabir Lahiry. Joining me today in conversation is Dr. Pradeep Mahajan. क्या है brief? I'll tell you. It's going to be a pretty intense conversation around health, around specifically stem cells. He's an expert and thank you for joining us all the way from Mumbai. You just came in for this interview, for this conversation, and I'm really thankful to you for this.
It's pleasure for me here, Aabir, to join this your conversation, and I believe this conversation be a good depth of knowledge what
Yes.
we are looking for,
Yes.
making a new venues of treatment, new science of treatment, or what you can say new edges or cutting edge science. We will talk like that.
Right. Stem cell sounds very fascinating to a lot of people, like because आज से कुछ साल पहले अगर आप पूछो स्टेम सेल वाज ठीक है, कुछ होता है, कुछ साइंस फिक्शन जैसा साउंड करता है. आई डोंट नो हाउ दिस विल वर्क इन दैट. एंड जस्ट बिफोर शूटिंग दिस पॉडकास्ट वी वर टॉकिंग कि अब यहाँ पे ब्रेन आ सकता है, ये हो सकता है, बहुत कुछ हो सकता है. So what exactly, we'll dig deep into that. What exactly is stem cell technology?
In fact, Aabir, I'll just want to decode the word stem cell first of all.
Let's do that.
That once we understand the decoding of the word stem, then probably the science will open a big opening for all us.
Agreed.
Now, usually what happens when you talk of stem is a in हिंदी में बोलते हैं मूल बोलेंगे हम उसको,
जड़,
बेस, जड़ बोलेंगे. वो जड़ उसी को बोलते हैं कि from where everything you can take out, that's the जड़.
Right.
The entire plant grows from a जड़.
Right.
Like now, similarly, stem cell is a cell which is the origin of the cellular life.
Okay.
The story starts with the sperm coming from the male and ovum coming from the female. The moment they fuse, the first interaction between the sperm and ovum leads to formation of a new life. This new life brings in the coding information of the genes of the father, 50%, coding information of the genes from the mother, 50%. Now the new gene which is formed, DNA or cell is formed, has a 50% information coded from the father, coded from the mother. Now this is a new cell now. It is not having a complete information of father, neither mother. Now, but this new life has its own genome, own DNA now, which is encoding the language of that life. What is he? Who is he? What is he going to have color? What is his pupil color? How his hairs will be there? What are the probable chances of his disease getting into? What are the chances that he will age at what level? All those things are coded there. Means you could understand now. जिस सेल में तुम्हारे लाइफ को कोड किया है, वो सेल को हम जब डीकोड करते हैं, then we get the answers of stem cell. Now the cell which has got all information of life, we definitely have to call the master cell a stem cell.
Okay.
Because it is giving you all information.
And that's the first cell.
First cell. That is a stem cell.
Okay.
And there the journey of stem cells will start. And stem is a name which we collectively called it here because it's a mother stem.
Okay.
It has got your coded language of DNAs. Anything which has a coded information is in stem.
Okay.
So the nomenclature comes from this scientific explanation of decoding the language of your life from a DNA.
Okay.
That is a stem cell.
ठीक है. So then what exactly is a stem cell technology? Because if you ask me what do I derive out of this conversation, is a lot of people say कि when you are born, आपके जो मदर का जो प्लेसेंटा होता है उसके अंदर स्टेम सेल्स होते हैं, या what I know is बोन मैरो के अंदर स्टेम सेल्स होते हैं.
Correct.
But after doing छोटा मोटा research, I got to know कि ऐसा नहीं है. स्टेम सेल बॉडी के हर पार्ट में होता है, थोड़ा सब जगह होता है. But I would love to know more on this because a little knowledge is a dangerous thing, and you will be the correct person to actually correct me.
That is called Google Doctor.
Yeah, agreed. That's more of a Google and YouTube doctor, but I really want to know more.
Okay. In fact, if you analyze this particularly stem cell, the human body, remember, from your birth to your death, you've got stem cells in the body.
Okay.
The day you don't have stem cells, you die. This is a principle.
Okay.
Now, body has a system which is called the repairing system.
Okay.
When it calls repairing system, is it has a wear and tear.
Right.
And who does the wear and tear? Your master cells or stem cells do it.
Okay.
Otherwise, you would have died at the age of your adolescency when your maturity only, if there were no stem cells.
Okay.
As we grow older and older, every cell from hair to nail has got a stem cell.
Okay.
You can see your nails grow
Yeah.
because of stem cells.
Okay.
Your hairs grow because of stem cells. Your skins you shed off
Yeah.
because of stem cells. Your liver you regenerate because of stem cells. You count every action in your body. Your bones are replaced every 10 years. Your skin is replaced every 7 years. Who is doing this all? Nature is doing. That's the stem cell is doing. Now remember, when you get a brushing injury, you lose the skin.
Yeah.
You go to a doctor like me, and he will put up some ointment, one painkiller, and go send you home. Analyze what he has he done. He has just given a painkiller, antibiotic. That's all. Nothing else. But who has regenerated the skin for you? Body has regenerated skin.
Right.
So who is doing all these jobs? Stem cells are doing that. I have given you two facts. One, wear and tear of normal life.
Right.
Second, the life when your repairing systems are required. You get an injury, you require repairing system, visibly seen.
Right.
Similarly in the case of fracture of bone. When you spoke of bone marrow just now, I'm just quoting around that your subject.
Okay.
जब आपको fracture होता है, you go to a medical doctor, orthopedic surgeon.
An orthopedic surgeon.
He will put a plaster after taking X-ray. There is a crack in the bone, nothing to worry. I'll put a plaster and he'll give 2 tablets, 1 painkiller and 1 maybe calcium and send you home, right? And the patient comes after 6 weeks back. I'm giving you live examples for you. What is a stem cell you understand now. After 6 weeks, you take an X-ray. He will say a little callus bone is there, extra bone, but fracture is healed up. Now this 6 story, you go retrospectively from time of injury to your visit to the second time to the doctor, orthopedic surgeon. Anybody from the doctor's side has gone in your body to a welding of the fracture? Who has done?
Body. The stem.
You answered it. You answered it. The role of medical science comes into assist the repairing system. In my opinion, everything what happens repairing in the body, the way I told you of brushing, injury, fracture, we as a doctor or scientist has not gone in your body to do some welding.
Agreed.
Bone marrow has healed up. The bone marrow has laid down new capillaries.
Okay.
New blood vessels, pulled on minerals like calcium, phosphate, magnesium, pulled in cells for healing like osteocytes, osteoblasts, pulled in some kind of scaffold there, and made a new bone.
Right.
It's a new it's a philosophy.
Right.
One I told you as a repair mechanism, which is maintained wear and tear. Second mechanism is your injury repair. Now this injury could be by anything. Could be infection injury, traumatic injury, make it degenerative injury, maybe vascular cut injury, Anything could be their injury. But the repairing process goes on there.
Okay.
Now, this repairing process is a natural phenomenon.
Okay.
But there are two concepts. One is a physiological miss at the level of body can repair to some extent.
Right.
But the injury when it's above the repairing capacity, then we require therapeutic intervention.
Okay.
Therapeutic intervention.
Right.
Now, in my principal practice of stem cell science, I always say people, I am just enhancing your power of healing, power of repairing.
I am not healing it. The body will
Body
heal
heal
it.
it. And this can be done by stem cells, scaffolds. Scaffolds are the tissue which are around the cells,
Achha.
which bring the cells to close to each other.
Okay.
It's like a material,
Okay.
ECM we call, extracellular matrix we call.
Okay.
It adheres the cells to each other.
Okay.
Now, these two things play a major role
Okay.
to make this repairing system.
Okay.
And when we work on this, we use all these materials in a repairing system where the injury is beyond body's repair. So what I'm doing it now, your repairing systems I'm converting into therapeutic applications because body cannot repair that much bigger damage. The role of repairing comes in. So that's the reason I always call you are carrying your repairing tools in your own body. That's the beauty of it. Tools are there in the body. How to use tools is the science now, watch, regenerative medicine. How to use those tools. So regenerative medicine science is born now as a cutting edge science.
Okay.
So here we are not treating signs and symptoms. We are basically repairing the system which has gone wrong.
Okay. When you say that there are few complications in the body which are above the self-reparatory
Yes.
model, इसमें क्या बीमारियां आती होंगी? What all disorders or things we are talking about?
The process of damage of DNA or cell starts when you are in the uterus, mother's womb.
Okay.
But at that level, your damaging cells are very less and new making cells are more because you are building up the body.
Oh.
Your damaging cells are very less. But repairing body, which are building up your body completely to the adolescency age of 18, 20, whatever human beings has their maturity age, there the cells and body is bringing up now. But after 20 years of age, the dying cells are more and repairing cells are less. This is the equation which leads into diseases.
Okay.
So you talk of a disease in the body, which goes with the damage of cells and less of repairing can lead to all those diseases which can be repaired. Now,
Okay.
this question of I should elaborate a little more, I think. The reason is that it is not only repairing. Sometimes body misbehaves because of immune mismanagement,
Okay.
because of mismanagement of microbiome of the body.
Okay.
Now an environment of the body, environment around food and all those things, these damages are subconsciously happening, leading to DNA damage to the extent these DNAs lead to an autoimmune disease, lead to cancer diseases, these DNA damages.
Okay.
Now all these, in a standard medical practice, we don't have any solution to repair the damage of DNA, damage of the cells.
Okay.
In a standard practice, what I do, I give a chemotherapy, I give radiotherapy, I give the lasers, I give the radiation, I cut down the parts, I give the antibiotics. What do you mean understood from these technologies of standard? We are killing the cells,
Agreed.
which are bad.
Yeah.
And the regenerative science of stem cell science, we don't kill the cells.
You build a power.
Build
which
the
can
power to
actually-
repair the cells.
Okay.
We teach the cells, you are my friend, भाई. आप मुझे क्यों मार रहे हो? Cell is your body part.
Right.
So we need to educate the cells. We need to repair the cells. We need to teach them come back and behave properly. Behave properly. That's the science of regenerative medicine. Develop the new cells and teach the cells which are going haywire.
Okay.
And that too, haywire means like diseases, what I call. But the diseases are the terminology which I call as a lack of homeostasis of the body.
What is that?
Homeostasis is a beautiful concept, I'll tell you. When you're in an office now and you've got some functions to do, and you're supposed to reach office by 5 p.m. And you're not informed that you're coming at 5 p.m. with few of the guests like me, suppose. And you suddenly come. What's the situation in the office? It's a jumbling. Why? because there was no information.
Right.
Lack of information will lead a action in a wrong direction. So, macroscopic world, I told you, you and me sitting here, if it can happen outside the body, why not inside the body?
True.
Because if I eat a food, information goes to my liver and pancreas.
Yeah.
Suppose
to secrete insulin, to
enzyme break and
biles.
insulin to, okay, true. Suppose it doesn't go, what will happen? You'll land with the disease.
Agreed. You'll have indigestion or diarrhea. Or
What is it then?
Yeah.
It's a disease.
Disease.
A simple example I have given you this. So cellular disharmony. Disharmony means communication is disturbed. Cells are not functioning properly. Extracellular matrix is not functioning properly. Disease starts.
Okay.
So understood now? What is disease?
Yes.
Is a disharmony, dysregulation, or lack of homeostasis. I'm giving you different options of word,
Okay.
which will make you understand, yes, there has to be a communication proper from one system to other system. If that is lacking from one cell to other, there's a misunderstanding in the body.
Okay.
This misunderstanding is a disease.
Makes sense.
I hope I made it very easy.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to make science more easy for a common man to understand.
Agreed. And that is the intention of this podcast as well, to decode this heavy term
Very
called
difficult.
stem cell technology, regenerative science, and I don't know, मतलब कई लोग सुन के घबरा जाते होंगे क्या बोल रहे
Yes,
हैं?
that's what I noticed
But
many times. And because of lack of knowledge, which I have personally realized, there are a lot of myths and concepts, wrong concepts about the science in the common population, in the technology population,
True.
in the scientist among, as well as medical fraternity.
Okay.
So they look in a different angle. Unfortunately, because it is not in our teaching program, it has laid outside.
But do you think that it will be included in the teaching program going forward?
Oh, good news for you to say. We have already started at StemRx a fellowship program approved by Government of India and Government of Maharashtra under the University of Maharashtra Health Sciences for teaching biological basic research of human body to the clinicians. 2 years fellowship program we give, where it works in a teaching program, so as it should be learned by the main line of doctors. Second program which I have started to continue on the topic of the same, there's a board in US which is called the American Board of Regenerative Medicine. The way US is with the boards like cardiology board.
Agreed.
Okay, so this is a regenerative board. StemRx is an affiliate teaching program in India for US Board of Regenerative Medicine.
Okay.
And fortunately, I'm also a member of that. Not only member, I'm a diplomat of American Board. I'm a board certified physician for regenerative medicine now. So what we are doing to make this science to come into mainline, we are trying to push various universities, various academic programs to bring to the doctors, medical doctors. So as the armamentarium means the people who should know the science, who are treating the patient, they are expected to know.
Agreed.
Expected to know. That is how it can come over a time in the mainstream of science. Even some of the textbooks are covering now. Some textbook.
It has been changed over time.
Yeah, books are changing now.
When,
on the contrary, time has come to rewrite the medical textbook now.
Agreed. It's a research-driven field.
Everything is changing. It's a dynamic science.
Yeah, true. When we say, you still haven't answered my question, when we say that what all diseases are there where stem cell technology will play a very vital role, what all diseases are we talking about?
To come to the point now, we have been following in a standard teaching that neurons are fixed number at the time of birth, and after the birth, no neuron forms. Which is you are taught today. Ovulation in the woman, we still follow the dogma of fixed number of ovulation. Around 45, woman goes in towards the loss of menopause. Likewise, there are so many dogmas which we then decided, we just concluded there are no treatments for this. Now imagine, if you decode now and you find the answers, then n number of diseases can be covered from neurology, particularly. Neuroplasticity is a new subject of stem cell science, of regenerative science of neurons.
What is that?
Neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity means neurons are plastic. Plastic means they can take a shape, they can multiply, they can grow, they can divert, they can connect each other depending on how you manipulate them.
Okay.
So that's called the neuroplasticity. And neuroplasticity works based on the stem cells, microcurrents, and growth factors and peptides.
Okay.
So if you know this science, you can play around neuroplasticity very beautifully.
Okay. Okay.
Diseases like Parkinson, Alzheimer, dementia, schizophrenia in an aging population. Then early newborns, there are two classes you can take. One developmental problem, one are genetic problems when you are born. Now till then we always say you have to die with the developmental problem. There are no treatments. Now decoding the neuroplasticity has given answers to us that these children who are born with developmental issues, either because of the bleed, developmental problems, or prematurity or late maturity, or you can say some kind of infective problems, some kind of connecting the brain, which are axons and synaptic connections, they are not developed. We get the diseases like autism, cerebral palsy. Depending on the area what is involved, we get those symptoms, right? Then even ADHD, even you can say delayed learning process, slow learning processes, even eye problems, hearing problems at the time of birth. Trust me, today since we have opened the Pandora of neuroplasticity, and you know how to apply that to regenerate these parts of the body, you can do that.
Okay. Let's dig deep into this world of how the stem cell actually changes. For example, if a kid, he is an autistic kid, how does the stem cell technology actually help him? What exactly is the process? क्या होता है मतलब?
This is a very good question you asked me, because I have seen there are so many centers in India, not only in India, Mexico, US, Florida, even nowadays there are certain centers in Germany, there are certain centers in Prague, there are certain centers in Bangkok, Japan, South Korea, and I'm well connected to all these centers. Remember, the science doesn't say like that, you take the stem cell, you repair. It doesn't happen like that. First of all, you have to know what is autism or cerebral palsy. If you don't know this, and you're just pushing stem cells or some growth factors and you expect there is a magic will happen, miracle happen, this is a big myth, misconcept amongst the people.
Okay.
So you may be in a social way coming in contact of so many families, knowing that he has taken 2 treatments, he has taken 4 treatments, he has taken, but there are no much improvements. What does this message is passed?
किससे कुछ help नहीं होता है.
It's a misconcept. Why? Because your body has got a multifocal development.
Okay.
It's not one development. Alone stem cell cannot do anything. It has got a functional improvement, stem cell getting signals.
Okay.
Stem cell getting electrical firings. Stem cell getting nutritions. Stem cell getting proper blood supply. Plus stem cell getting proper environment there to repair the things. How are you going to do that? How are you going to? When you say you require repairing stem cells, it means there is a wrong, something has happened there. Microenvironment of the organ is wrong. Are there not stem cells there? There are.
There are.
Why they are not growing? Did you ask this question to push into new stem cells? Why they are not growing? And how are going to make grow your cells inside? Whether it's autologous from the bone marrow, fat, or from any other source we can take. There are many sources. We call them autologous, means our own.
Okay.
Homologous means from bone to bone, organ to organ, same organ.
Okay.
Allogenic means taking some other sources like placenta, it's a donor cells.
Okay.
Xenograft means taking from other species like sheep.
Achha, that can also happen.
Oh, that can happen. Recently you heard a story in US, they have done a swine heart transplant in the human beings.
Yes, yes.
What is it? It's a xenograft.
Oh.
They tried. The man survived for 1 month. They lost. So there are many characteristics happening. And that also why swine was selected. Because swine DNA and human DNA is 90% matching, 80 to 90% matching.
Wow.
As a mammal.
Which other animals are close to you?
Zebrafish. Very good.
Zebra?
Zebrafish. Fish, zebrafish.
Okay, zebrafish.
Again, 80% with the disease-wise they are matching, and 90% are DNA to DNA matching. There are certain DNAs, same as human being. Do you know, I'll tell you one beauty of science now, which is being decoded. You will be also shocked. Do you know when the life was created?
Some say 5,000 years back.
No, it is around million years.
Million years back.
150 million years before, or 200 million years before. What the first life came on the earth was a yeast-like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You heard about yeast-like.
Yeah.
Now, yeast has the same DNA gene, same gene. I repeat my sentence for the people and you. The same gene which we have got. Which one you ask me? I'll tell you. You ask me which one.
Which one?
The gene which is responsible for the cell to divide.
Oh.
The same gene we too have got today with the same sequence of nucleotides. What does it mean? We still have some kind of genetics present in our body 150 million years before genes.
True.
But we have evolved over a period of time.
True.
So this is the beauty of science.
Makes sense.
So certain genes we still hold of 150 million years before in our body. Has it opened a new Pandora for you now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Similarly, zebra, similarly, salamander, similarly, the one which I told you, swine. It's much mismatching.
Okay.
Recently, I came across my own research. It is there. It is developed in Pittsburgh by Dr. Stephen Badlack. He did an experiment with the swine bladder.
Okay.
Swine
bladder. Okay.
Swine bladder. He took a swine bladder. He decellularized, removed the cells from it,
Okay.
complete, by detergent, washing it. And what remained is a protein now,
Okay.
extracellular protein, which is ECM I called, scaffold. Now this scaffold, do you know how much power it has got? It can regenerate the finger. Our finger, human finger. And I have done in my lab as an experiment.
So if somebody has lost their finger, that protein can actually redevelop
This last digit,
without the bone.
without the bone. You can get the bone, skin, nail, everything as it is. Don't you think it's an fairy story? Fairy story? And I have shown in my lab this. So, as we are evolving, we are learning a lot of decoding science of human body.
Makes sense.
Of all the diseases. From this you can understand now application.
Yeah.
Number of diseases you understood now?
Yeah.
Number of diseases means you can in vivo, world is working in vivo, means within the body, can a failed organ can be regenerated? Kidney failure, liver failure, heart failure. Yes, it can be done now. Science is going towards that now.
Okay.
So by doing this, the biggest gap of organ transplant, of source of organs for donors,
Which is very complicated.
very complicated. Second, even if you do the transplant, we have a big reason that organs may fail because of foreign body in the body.
Yeah.
That is GVHD, we call it like. See, in 1940s and 50s, we did first transplant of kidney. Then came around 60s or 70s liver. Then 80s we came with the heart, lungs. And recently we are talking about brain transplant, eye transplant. All those many things we are talking it like. Remember one thing. Even today, from 1940 to 50s to 20s and 20s, 30, 25 years reaching 70 years, 75 years. Have we got solution for these two reasons? Source of organ and GVHD? No, we are still struggling.
Yeah. True.
The science has brought the solutions to this also now. So you can imagine applications are abundant. Cancer, you can talk. You can talk all types of autoimmune diseases. Type 1 diabetes, you are aware?
Yeah.
Small children's.
Yeah.
Autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
Beta cells are dying. Small children, you can imagine the pathetic situation. 3 times prick, blood checkup, 3 times insulin. Still sugars haywire up and down.
Yeah.
The mother and father, you can imagine parent condition.
Yeah.
It's painful.
Yeah.
We still say parents to live with that. But we have found out the solutions to these from autoimmune conditions. How to regenerate the beta cells back and correct your autoimmune system, not to destroy the beta cells.
Is it in practice now?
It's not in practice. These are all clinical trials.
Clinical trials.
We do those trials. We do some works on that as an consented program, as an unmet need of the people. Sometimes we take in consent of not available any other treatment. So we go for experimental treatment. There's a process of experimental treatment, or we call Helsinki Declaration.
Helsinki Declaration. Okay.
Helsinki Declaration has given the opportunity for patients to select the treatment. If there are no treatments available, you can't ask patient to die.
Agreed. True.
Because this is not approved.
Yeah.
This is not approved, you don't take the treatment. Okay, don't take the treatment. You give me the solution. So the experimental treatments come under the Helsinki Declaration and experimental permissions, where there are institutional ethical bodies or independent ethical bodies in the hospitals, where they present the case. They have to prove there are no treatments available for such cases, and then they go into this kind of treatments. So there's a procedure. If you follow the procedure properly, sitting in the regulation, you still can do those kind of experimental treatments, but under Helsinki Declaration. You cannot do rampantly anyone. It's not possible because you have to have some procedures to follow. If those procedures are followed, you can do with selected cases where legally you are entitled and he is entitled.
Agreed.
Under the clauses given.
Can I ask you $1 million question?
Pleasure.
You may choose to ignore this. But don't you feel when the stem cell technology will evolve, it's an evolving science, it will evolve, and we may cure type 1, type 2 diabetes, we may have a cure for a lot of diseases. Pharmaceutical companies will have a very big problem with that.
It's the $1 million question, as you said, because health industry today has become a very big business. Very big business. Unfortunate it is. Unfortunate. It should not have become a business because health is not sellable or viable. But current trends of European and American practice has brought into as a business profile. And business profile of health industry runs on pharma companies.
True.
And pharma companies make $1 trillion profits on this. Even if the product is 2 rupees, it is coming in the market with 2,000, 10,000.
10,000.
Because there are pharma companies making a huge
layers.
profit.
There are huge layers.
Now, the science of 1900, and today we take it. I'll take a beautiful story of this. In 1900, when era of antibiotic came in, the first penicillin, Flamingo penicillin came in. Alexander Flamingo. Remember, people could not believe infection can be treated that time. It was a revolutionary step. In 1950s, vaccines came. People could not believe virus infection can be stopped. Average life, which was to be around 40 years that time, 50s around maybe 50 years. Today we have crossed 80, 85, 90. Why? Because of these revolutionary changes. And now the time has come, third revolution of medicine, the regenerative medicine. The concept is now live 100 years plus. So we are going through evolution of changing science. Today, when the antibiotics came, people were confused. Vaccines came, people did not believe this to avoid to take it.
Agreed.
The same situation is today of 100 years before, 50 years before. Today's situation is same because people are lacking of knowledge. It's a new concept came because there is this particular question. I will insist on the idea of that health crisis. This was the first presentation I did in Ohio State in US at Indiana University and US. What is health crisis? Health crisis is in a standard care we have what technology you have developed. We are aware $1 million technologies are there, but still diseases like cancer, autoimmune disease, developmental, genetic, immunological conditions. Do you have any solution?
No.
No. What do you define this now? Number of cases are increasing this, whereas other diseases are reducing, but these diseases are increasing. Are you not in health crisis?
We are. Yeah.
So I put this into health crisis situation. So when you are in health crisis and you don't have solution, Albert Einstein very nicely said, when you are starting any kind of scientific procedure and you don't get results of that procedure, if you invest your money, if you invest on your knowledge in the same scientific experiment, will you get the results? Very challenging, very difficult. So you need to change the platform. What is wrong? Why this particular science is not giving me result there? So we need to study what is wrong happening there. Why I'm not getting?
True.
So we start a new platform. So from a pharmacological platform, we come to the biological platform now.
Okay.
So we missed in the entire treatment of standard medical care biology.
Okay.
Understood now?
Yeah.
We just went on chemical, tried to kill the cells, modify the cells. But that's not the solution. No?
True.
Because biology is saying something is happening wrong in the DNA, something wrong is happening in the ECM, something wrong is happening in the cellular compartments, microenvironment changing, and I'm trying to treat. This doesn't match.
True.
Scientific. So this statement of Albert Einstein clearly mentions you need to rethink on your science. So I have drawn this science basically as a biological science now.
Okay.
So we all look biology as a better solution than the chemistry, the solution for medical science.
Medical science. Okay. Let's move into this new concept of, not exactly a new concept, but then to a concept of storing the stem cells. A lot of banks are there across India. Whenever you are born, a child is born, they take the piece of placenta, they store it. What exactly is the function of it? How is it is like developed? What kind of storage facilities are there? Usse ho kya sakta hai? Yeah. What are the like the avenues
or why it is done?
Why it is done? Yeah.
Most important.
Why it is done?
Yeah. I'll just add a small answer to your first question, which I missed out.
Okay.
Pharma companies.
Sure.
In fact, because of $1 trillion investment of pharma companies, to change from this investment to new science is a big challenge.
Yeah.
It's a big loss making.
It's a very infrastructural change.
Everything is changed.
Yeah.
Why is the change? I'll tell you. That also I'll tell you why is the change. In the standard medical care, when you talk a drug or an injection, it's a non-living. Understand? And the non-living molecule is not affected by the much of environmental problems.
True.
Okay?
Yeah.
Temperature, water content.
Only the vaccines.
Vaccines, little bit those. But what I'm talking is a living drug molecule. Cell is a living, breathing entity.
Agreed.
Which is affected by the environment, temperature, handling. One who touches also, it gives a difference on duration of stay. All those are going to affect.
True.
So management of the technology with the drug, dead drug and a living drug is different. So for them, it is going to be huge experiment to start from base again.
Agreed.
Very big.
And they don't want to do that, of course. It's a business for them.
It's a business for them. But I have seen many of the pharma companies are putting $1 million in this research now. $1 million. Rather, $1 billion, I would say rather, to enter in this world because they also know it's the future. True. It's the future. But it's a journey for another 40 years to come into market.
Okay.
I'll take your next question now.
Yeah. Let's move to the concept of why do we store stem cells and the stem cell storing, how does it work? Like, tell me everything. Like, क्या होता है starting from the moment the child is born? क्या?
I'll just give a brief note. आपको याद आता है आप जब छोटे थे 100 साल पहले 50 साल पहले आपकी दादी कॉर्ड को ड्राई करके घर में रखते थे.
Okay. The umbilical
cord को ड्राई करके निकाल कर they used to keep in the, we in Marathi used to call ajisa aushadza batwa.
Okay. What does it mean?
Where we keep some traditional medicine when she used to give always to you, you have pain in abdomen or something.
Okay.
They used to give this type. Now, the concept, you have to understand what she was doing. Though she may not knowing it, today we know why.
Okay.
The storing of cord, the storing of amniotic fluid, storing of entire biological waste which we throw away, do you know, it carries the life. It has got life, which has built up your life in the mother's womb. It has all those powers, all those cells which are helped to build up your body in the mother's womb, and we throw away. So they have stem cells, they have cells, they have growth factors, They have neurotropic factors, they have got hormonal effects, they have got repairing systems, they have ECMs. What is not there with them? So storing that cord blood to everything is looking how to apply these natural resources of your own body, which are produced, to apply in the science to repair your body. So the concept of storage comes from a traditional way. Today we look in a modern way because our applications are wider. Applications are very big one. So these cords, blood, they have been, we advise to them the store reason because like blood cancers, the cord blood is the biggest source to get a healthy blood, healthy cells, healthy stem cells, that is hematopoietic stem cells. MSC cells which do a repairing job in the body. A beautiful source, MSCs are there in the cord and placenta. Now imagine, placenta in my opinion, is a nature's way of allogenic organ transplant for a temporary purpose. Placenta is an organ which is built up in the mother's uterus to grow the child, to supply the nutrition, to protect the child from immune system, to circulate the blood from the mother. Placenta is an organ. Now, as I told you in the beginning when you said me what are the stem cells, that time I told you mother and father, genes coming from, right? Now this placenta and baby doesn't belong to mother completely.
It also belongs to the father.
Father also. So it's a foreign body to the mother. Now anything foreign body in the body, can I engraft in your body? Organ transplant can you do? Because body will not accept. So what we do? We give immunosuppressants, steroids, organ transplant, we give so many drugs to suppress the immune system so the body should not reject. Now here, placenta is grafted, transplanted into the mother's uterus for how many months? 9 months. Is there any rejection?
No. It's not a foreign body for it.
Though it is a foreign body, the mechanism of the placenta to protect the baby from the mother's rejection plays a major role. So I always call nature's temporary transplant organ, if there's an example, is a placenta. Now having this knowledge keeping in the mind, can we not convert this into therapeutic part? If nature has done, we can understand the mechanism of how it is doing. And we can apply those senses. So these carry all of the stem cells. Only stem cell. And if you store them in a cryopreservations with the regulatory lines, follow the regulatory principles, there has to be so many regulatory applications in this, where it has to be stored at regular temperature, maintenance, how do you maintain their quality, collection. There are so many rules and regulations to have a quality storage and have to apply with scientific way. There are rules and regulations from the drug controller, ICMR, how to store, but they have been a complete profile of this. If you store under that for 20 years, 25 years, which is an additional life after 40 years, usually we expect diseases come after 40, 45 years. So considering that part, we store that, where to apply that. So it's not wrong, you should store it to use it in future. But that doesn't mean if you are not stored, you don't have source.
What are the other sources? Like bone marrows?
Bone marrow, fat, dental, your peripheral blood, skin, testes, all sources of the brain, all the sources of stem cells. But these stem cells are little aged one compared to that.
And that is the most
that
purest.
Is a young child, you can say, 2 years child and 50 years child, a 50 years person.
Which brings me to the first thing you answered. It will have the least number of dead cells or dying cells.
Yes, when I told the embryo development. They're the young budding, like a small child.
And these cells don't die in the storage facility?
No, there is a temperature which has to be maintained at minus 180 liquid nitrogen, where the cell is completely frozen. So there is no metabolic activity. So if there is no metabolic activity, cell will at rest, complete. We can tie them back to the normal function.
And what are the applications? Like for example, a kid is born, मानते हैं आज से 20 साल पहले, he had his stem cell frozen and it was stored. Today, what all diseases can it cure?
Yeah. As I told you, as a current scenario, what I look at is unmet needs.
Okay.
We cannot separate the standard medical practice and regenerative science or cutting edge science separate completely.
True.
They are interconnected, definitely.
Today, at least today.
Even today, it is interconnected. Because sometime we have to take a help of a standard medical care also to see the best results coming out with the regenerative medicine. But wherever we find unmet needs, those are the diseases first challenge to be improved.
Like
Like I told you, cancers are there, autoimmune diseases are there, developmental issues are there, immunological diseases are there, genetic diseases are there. All are different kind of diseases where there are no solutions. So these cells will help you there. Plus now, what I have done some patents of technology, my technology.
Okay.
These patents say bone and bone marrow are integral part of one organ.
Okay.
Correct? You cannot separate bone marrow from bone. So integral one part means whatever develops from the locomotor system of your body, locomotor system, the muscle, tendon, bones, cartilages, ligaments, tendons, all they come from the one lineage.
Okay.
Now the cell which repairs the bone, as I told you in bone fracture, cannot repair cartilage,
It can, I guess.
cannot repair ligament, because they come from the one lineage.
Yeah.
So you have to increase the applications now.
Okay.
This is how. And that is what we learn from the science of regenerative medicine.
Okay.
So now I would say rather, no joint replacement. Same joint, lifetime. First principle.
Okay.
Second principle, full range of movements. Third principle, no pain. What else you want?
Agreed. Makes sense. How does it work? Like, for example, you have a कितना बड़ा होता है? I have no clue. I have never seen a stem cell storing facility.
Stem cell storing is a facility of cryopreservation. It is there are cryocans, huge cryocans, which are auto-regulated to refill with the liquid nitrogen, which maintains the negative 180, 190 degree temperature.
Okay.
There are two types. One is going in the liquid nitrogen, one is in the fumes.
Okay.
Both can be used, either of them, depending on what is your expectation, what is your scientific application.
Okay.
So here are the cells you can store.
This huge? This like
Some
stem cell?
canisters are there. Canisters are there.
Okay.
In the canisters, we put those cells.
Okay.
Cells are microscopic.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
are nanoparticles.
Agreed.
Right? We put them into nanocells.
But when you store the
Liquid.
placenta, you store the entire
Yeah,
placenta.
entire placenta. It's a complete tissue.
Okay.
It's a blood also, cord blood. We store complete around maybe 50 ml, 70 ml. There are canisters of size.
Okay.
Which we crack. There is a system like we put DMSO in it. DMSO is a protector from the cryofreeze.
Okay.
When the cell cryofreezes, DMSO is one chemical which doesn't allow cells to disintegrate or destroy their DNA.
Okay. You mentioned, right?
So we keep it in that liquid nitrogen with the DMSO.
Okay.
So this is called cryopreservation of cord blood, biological waste, as well as human organs.
Okay.
Nowadays, even I recommend young boys, like 16-year-old boy, he can preserve his 16 years old stem cells in the lab and use at the age of 60 years.
But from the bone marrows.
From the bone marrow, take the bone marrow or peripheral blood also.
Okay.
And store. The reason is, I'll tell you, this is also beautiful science. When you are born, you are building up the organs, developing the organs. When you are growing from 1 year to 20 years of age, your developed organs are growing.
Right.
And after 20, there is no growth of organs.
Oh.
What do you know? Your adult size you are coming like.
So at 20, you will have the fresh developed organs.
Yes,
Cells
yes.
of fresh developed organs.
Up to that age. And thereafter, there are no new cells are formed to develop the organs, but damages can be repaired. Damages can be repaired. Now here, this mechanism is not controlled by the cells. It is controlled by the factors which are present in the blood. Factors which are present in the bone marrow. These are called bioactive molecules, signaling factors. Inflammatory factors, non-inflammatory factors, repairing factors, immunological factors, hematopoietic factors, or mesenchymal factors, which play a major role in the repairing system. Now, in a child, those factors are those which change the cell from one cell type to other cell.
Okay.
Right? We have to make the organs, no? When you are born and growing, you have factors in the blood to grow the organs.
Right.
And after 20 years, these factors have disappeared.
So you should store those.
Yes, if you store now those factors in young blood cells, stem cells, you can use in the latter age of your life. So I recommend many children's, many youngers, store your blood, store your bone marrow today, which in any kind of your aging disease, you can use it again for you.
That makes sense.
And that will give you a repairing system to maintain up to 70 years, 80 years, 90 years. There are certain new concepts are coming. They are called like aging profiles. How do you maintain the aging profiles?
Okay. That works. Say, for example, a kid got the placenta, he has the placenta and the blood, umbilical blood.
Very correct.
But after maybe 20, 25 years, he witnessed a disease which is not curable from the medical science, or even if it's curable, he wants to have the stem cell or regenerative medicine. He wants to take that path. How does it work? You get the your storage from the labs, and then you inject those stem cells?
No, it's not like that.
Okay, yeah.
There are ways to do it.
Okay.
There's a storage part.
Yeah.
When you want to use it, the concept is different.
Yeah, what is that?
Because they are cryo. Everything is freezed there.
Okay.
You cannot inject freeze thing, no?
Yeah, agreed.
So we have to make them live from a freeze to a breathing status. Their breathing is stopped. There is no metabolic activity. So you have to bring in the breathing state, live state.
Okay.
So that process called as thawing. Thawing process they're called is a gradual bringing to the normal temperature from the liquid, so that there is no heat shock, which is called as a shock to the cell. Okay. Suddenly if you change, suppose you can take, here we are at minus 40 degree and we go to 30 degree outside immediately. You will be shocked. Yeah. Body will not accommodate. Similar application to the cell is there.
So, gradually,
that's a thawing process. Okay. After thawing process, there are concepts. What are you going to use for?
Okay.
If it's a bone marrow application, it's a bone application, it's a bone marrow transplant application, it's a liver application, it's a repair application, skin application. Depending on that, we can grow the number of cells. Okay. We proliferate the cells.
For example, it's blood cancer. Then how do you deal with it?
Then we have to use complete cell component of the cell.
Okay.
Bone marrow. Entire bone marrow has to be used there, which is stored up. Has to be used because there are immune cells which are responsible for the transplant.
And you fuse the blood, the umbilical blood, into the body.
It is just a way I'll tell you. Put an IV fluid. First of all, what they do, they destroy your bone marrow cells in the body by using radiation technologies or chemicals.
Okay.
That is the process by which the existing cells which are cancerous, which are developmental problem, those are destroyed.
Okay.
And the cells which are healthy will be infused in your body. And these cells go and home in the bone marrow.
What is the success rate, sir? Has it been tested?
Nowadays, there's a good success rate because technology has gone much, much higher. Even unmatched donors are doing nowadays, which is called the haploidentical transplants. Haplo means even if your 50% genes are matching, still we can do it successfully. Those are technology which we call alpha-beta depletion technologies, where the immune cells which are responsible to destroy the components of not matching, they remove those.
And people survive for a longer time?
Longer time. It takes a normal life sometimes.
Okay.
But there are chances that you may get an infection, you may get some problems.
Because it's a foreign body inside.
Foreign body, in a bacterial infection, known cause, because you are under immunosuppressant.
Agreed.
But nowadays, technologies are coming much better where you may not require immunosuppressants also.
Agreed. Makes sense. I guess we'll be ending this podcast, but towards the end, I would love to ask you one question which बहुत देर से दिमाग में घूम रहा था. When we started, you said कि there are a lot of changes in a human body. We are born to live for 150 years. We were discussing before the podcast. But because of a lot of factors, it changes. But what are these factors and how should everybody who's watching this podcast should actually live a healthy life? क्या करना चाहिए और क्या नहीं करना चाहिए?
It's a very beautiful question. Not only beautiful, but it has got a big scientific background.
Okay.
Why we die?
Why we die?
Why we get diseases? Why we get cancer? If you happen to know the state of Japan, which is called as in
Osaka?
Osaka. What is that? I'll tell the name.
Okay. Sure.
I'll learn this. This a state in Japan.
Okay.
Okinawa.
Okinawa
is a state.
Yeah.
It's a built-up small island.
Yeah.
Still today, people live 100 plus there. Why not rest of the Japan? Why not China? Why not India? Why not US?
Why?
Some locations in Rajasthan and North Pakistan, up towards where the lifestyles are different than the other areas. People still live without cancer, without diabetes, without diseases. 100 years. Why? So this was a big question mark over a period of time in the scientific world. And they went to evaluate what is that secret these people live more, and the next city, around maybe 500 miles away, people don't live that much. Why? The question is the factors of environment, factors of diet, factors of stress communication, factors of exercise, factors of day-to-day living healthy life. If you manage this with a natural principle, see, a few examples I'll give. The biggest killer in my opinion is a stress. You should learn to live with minimal stress. Because with the stress, first what happens in your body is damage the DNA. And your cell goes into process of aging. Cortisol increase, hormones, certain hormones which are responsible to certain inflammation and kill you. Second, your food. Your food plays a major role of your microbiome in the body, bacteria in the body. Do you know your body is controlled by bacteria than your cells? Do you know that?
No.
Do you think it's a new world for you?
It is indeed. I always thought bacteria are bad.
No, your body has got 150 trillion cells from hair to nail. Whereas in your body are 900 trillion bacteria. Now see, 6 times more. Now any country, let us talk a country, which is a majority of the population controls the country. Right? Okay. So who is the majority population in your body?
Bacteria.
Who is controlling your body?
Bacteria.
And you feel ki my cells are controlling me, which is a very wrong concept. So your microbiome controls your body, and microbiome depends on your lifestyle, what you eat. So you got a relationship with now eating % microbiome. So food plays a major role. Third, for the stress communication, social living. Now you just imagine you are under stress and you have a very close friend whom you share every day something, or your father and you stay together. When you go home, there was some issue in your office and you felt, my job will be lost. What to do? When you go home, you are under stress, but these critical things you don't share to your wife, right? Because it will again more stress. So you share with your dad, who's an experienced person. After listening to that, he will say, Aabir, don't worry. There's a solution. Tomorrow morning I'll give a solution. Sleep sound now. Nothing will happen to you. Will you sleep sound?
Yes or no?
But to some extent your pressure is gone.
True.
Gone?
True.
And suppose there is no assurance that somebody in the home, senior person, is there to form you talk. True. What will happen? Whole night you will be restless.
Insomnia.
That's that, insomnia. What is happening? You're killing the cells. Got it now? Environment. You are inhaling trillions of bacteria every day, viruses inside. Pollution, heavy metals, chemicals is not a problem. Huge problem.
Yeah.
Right? Water. Your body is at 37 degree and you always take a water which is cold like 15 degree, 20 degree. Will it not affect your biochemical mechanism of the body?
It will.
You eat all acidic foods. Or pH of the body is alkaline. Will it work? No. Acidic food will be against alkaline body.
True.
So these are very tricky questions. If you make them fit in a proper rule of a community-based system to live, all your diseases will be away from you.
What was special in Okinawa? I really want to know.
Okinawa is a small community-based system where people houses are very close to close. They're small lanes. Their habit is to just fish the things. Like you know the word sushi?
Yeah.
Use the fish like sushi food.
Oh, no masala, no nothing.
I mean, they may be little bit here or there, but sushi foods, most of them.
Okay.
Because they are neighbors to each other, sharing of stress is very common for them. a sound sleep of 8 hours because they don't have anything to do more of a thinking places because they're remote places. Right. So you have a sound sleep. Sleep is one which is rejuvenating your body, helping your body to repair completely. It reduces your stress completely. Melatonin, which plays a major role from pineal gland. The sound melatonin follows the circadian rhythm, good sleep, repair of the body is wonderful. All factors, and there are no pollutions.
That's pollutions. A utopia for me sitting in Delhi, I guess, because
Delhi is a big killer rather. In fact, certain foods are very good, I'll tell you. You have heard of akroat, what do you call? What is it?
Walnut.
Wallets. Do you know what is the power of wallet?
No.
It protects you from the cancer or autoimmune disease.
Oh.
The people, when I spoke about Rajasthan and Pakistan,
yeah.
Some of the areas, apricot is the main food and camel milk is the main milk for them.
Walnut and camel
Yes.
milk. Wow.
Camel milk is full of immunoglobulins. All immunoglobulins. Though it is an animal product, but it protects you from disease. It's very hot if you take a cold one.
Oh.
So all these things play a major role to protect you from the disease.
Wow.
So this is a simple life. Okinawa people live, these people live. And they live 100 years without disease. We make big money. We live a very high-fly life, but we suffer with the diseases. That's a big principle of life.
True. On that note, I guess that's going to be the end of this podcast. I really enjoyed talking talking in depth about everything. A lot of my questions around stem cells have been resolved. If in case I have some other questions, I'll surely give you a call or I'll invite you again to the podcast.
Yeah, please. But this should help to remove the myths and misconceptions of the science.
True.
This is an upcoming science. People should look a positive note. The 4 pillars of the society which bring the science is 1, industry. Second is academia. Third is political power. And 4th is researchers.
True.
Any researcher, if has to become up, we require these 3 legs.
True. That makes sense.
We require industry, we require academia, we require politics, and we require researchers. This is a table of 4 pillars of science. If they 4 balance, that country can do wonderful in science.
That makes sense.
So I believe this our conversation has come to a new understanding how do we use this science with 4 pillars.
Yep.
And remove the misconceptions.
True. On that note, बहुत shukriya. Thank you very much for sharing all the wisdom and knowledge you had. And I hope really that a lot of people who are watching and listening to this podcast can gain a lot of knowledge from this.
Yes. Aabir, I'm thankful for you, basically, for inviting me here.
Thank you, sir.
The first, why I'm happy, I'll tell you, for being here.
Sure.
Reaching to the community with the right knowledge is very important. Very important. Otherwise, misconceptions, wrong understandings, wrong teachings lead to that science in a dearth. And people will lose.
True.
People will lose this.
True.
So I'm very thankful for this reason.
Thank you.
For me getting here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On that note, I guess this is the end of this podcast. Thank you, Dr. Pradeep Mahajan, for
Pleasure.
having this conversation with me. Thank you, sir. Thank you.